Our tale begins on a misty morning with the salty sea air tickling our noses and the promise of adventure on the horizon. Captain Max, the bravest and most daring pirate to ever sail the seven seas, was strolling along the beach, his trusty spyglass in hand. Suddenly, something caught his eye. A glint of glass peeking out from the sand. With a heart full of hope and hands trembling with excitement, he dug it out. Lo and behold, it was an ancient bottle, and inside ... a map. But this wasn't just any old map. Me heart, oh no! This was a map to the legendary Skull Island, where untold riches lay buried, waiting for a crew brave enough to claim them. Captain Max's eyes lit up like stars on a clear night. He knew this was his chance for the adventure of a lifetime. There was just one teeny, tiny problem. The map was incomplete. Pieces were missing, like a puzzle, with half its pieces scattered to the wind. But did that stop our intrepid Captain Max? Not on your life. He gathered his crew, the clever Ruby, the strong Finn, and Coco, the talking parrot. And together, they vowed to solve the clues and complete the map. It was like a treasure hunt before the real treasure hunt. They scoured the town, piecing together ancient pirate riddles and decoding secret messages. Each clue they solved revealed another piece of the map, bringing them closer to their goal. It was as if the old pirates who'd hidden the treasure were testing them, making sure only the smartest and bravest could find their loot. With the map finally complete, Captain Max and his crew were ready to set sail. They boarded their mighty ship, the Golden Wave, its golden sails gleaming in the sunlight like a beacon of adventure. As they pulled away from the dock, the whole town cheered, waving goodbye to their brave heroes. But the sea, buckos, she's a fickle mistress. No sooner had they left the safety of the harbor than dark clouds began to gather on the horizon. The wind picked up, whipping the sails and tossing the ship about like a toy in a bathtub. Rain lashed down, making the deck slippery as an eel, covered in butter. All hands on deck, Captain Max bellowed over the howling wind. The crew scrambled to their positions, working together like a well-oiled machine. Ruby manned the helm, her keen eyes piercing through the rain to keep them on course. Finn hauled on the ropes, adjusting the sails to catch what little favorable wind they could find. Even Coco pitched in, using his wings to fan the captain's face and keep his spirits up. For hours, they battled the storm, each massive wave threatening to send them to Davy Jones' locker. But Captain Max and his crew were made of sterner stuff. They gritted their teeth and pressed on, determined to weather the storm. Just when it seemed the worst had passed, Coco let out a squawk that could wake the dead. "Monster ahoy!" he screeched, pointing with his wing to a dark shape looming in the water ahead. The crew rushed to the bow, and their jaws dropped at the sight before them. Rising from the depths was a creature straight out of a sailor's nightmare. A giant sea monster with tentacles as thick as tree trunks and eyes glowing like embers in the gloom. It let out a roar that shook the very planks of the Golden Wave, sending shivers down even the bravest pirate's spine. But our heroes didn't come this far to be stopped by some overgrown squid. Quick as a flash, Ruby hatched a plan. "Captain," she called, "steer us towards that narrow channel. The monster's too big to follow us there." Captain Max grinned, seeing the genius in her plan. With a deft hand on the wheel, he guided the Golden Wave through the treacherous waters, the monster's tentacles slapping harmlessly against the rocks as they slipped past. The crew cheered as they left the beast behind, its angry roars fading into the distance. With the storm and the monster behind them, spirits were high aboard the Golden Wave. They could see Skull Island on the horizon, its ominous skull-shaped mountain looming larger with each passing moment. Victory was within their grasp. But wait, what's that on the horizon? Another ship, its black sails billowing in the wind, was bearing down on them fast. Captain Max's face darkened as he recognized the Jolly Roger fluttering atop its mast. "Blackbeard," he growled, his hand tightening on his sword hilt. Captain Blackbeard, the meanest, nastiest pirate to ever sail the seas, had somehow gotten wind of their quest. Now he was here to steal the treasure for himself. His ship, the Black Terror, pulled alongside the Golden Wave, and Blackbeard's crew began to swing across on ropes, cutlasses clenched between their teeth. The deck of the Golden Wave erupted into chaos as the two crews clashed. Swords clanged, pistols fired, and insults flew thicker than cannonballs. Captain Max found himself face to face with Blackbeard himself, their swords locked in a deadly dance. "Give up, Max," Blackbeard snarled. "That treasure's mine." "Never," Max shot back, parrying a vicious thrust. "We solved the clues. We battled the storm and the monster. The treasure belongs to us." As the two captains dueled, Ruby noticed something the others had missed. A small opening in the cliffs of Skull Island, partially hidden by vines. "This way," she called to her crewmates, leading them towards the secret passage. Finn, locked in combat with 3 of Blackbeard's men, saw what Ruby was up to with a mighty roar. He pushed his opponents back, giving his friends the opening they needed. "Go!" he shouted to Captain Max. "I'll hold them off." Captain Max hesitated for a moment, torn between helping his friend and securing the treasure. But Finn gave him a nod and a wink. "Don't worry about me, Capi. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve." Trusting in Finn's strength and cunning, Captain Max and the others dashed for the secret passage. They could hear Blackbeard's enraged howls behind them as they slipped into the cool darkness of the cave. The passage twisted and turned, leading them deeper into the heart of Skull Island. Strange glowing mushrooms lit their way, casting eerie shadows on the cave walls. They could hear the distant sound of Blackbeard and his crew crashing through the jungle above, searching for another way in. Finally, the passage opened up into a massive cavern, and there, in the center, bathed in a shaft of sunlight from a hole in the ceiling, stood a massive treasure chest. Captain Max and his crew approached it with reverence, hardly daring to believe they'd finally reached their goal. With trembling hands, Captain Max lifted the lid of the chest. Gold coins, sparkling jewels, and priceless artifacts spilled out, glittering in the dim light of the cavern. But something else caught the captain's eye. An old, leather-bound book nestled among the riches. Curious, he picked it up and blew off the dust. As he opened it, his eyes widened in wonder. "Crew," he said in a hushed voice, "this is no ordinary book. It's a collection of forgotten pirate legends, maps to other hidden treasures, and secrets of the sea that have been lost for centuries." Just then, they heard a commotion at the cave entrance. Blackbeard and his crew had found them, but Finn was there too, looking a bit battered but grinning from ear to ear. "Thought you could use some help," he said, brandishing his sword. As Blackbeard burst into the cavern, Captain Max held up the book. "This is the real treasure," he declared. Not just gold and jewels, but knowledge that could change the world of pirating forever. Even Blackbeard was struck speechless by this revelation. For a moment, the two crews stood in awed silence, the weight of history heavy in the air. Then Captain Max did something unexpected. He tore a page from the book and held it out to Blackbeard. "Here," he said, "a map to another treasure. There's enough adventure out there for all of us." Blackbeard, touched by this act of generosity, lowered his sword. "Perhaps," he growled, "we've been looking at this all wrong. Maybe there's more to be gained by working together than fighting each other." And so, on that day, in the heart of Skull Island, a new era of pirating began. Captain Max and his crew shared their newfound knowledge, and soon ships from all over were setting sail on grand adventures, seeking not just gold, but the thrill of discovery and the joy of unraveling ancient mysteries. As for Captain Max and his loyal crew, they loaded their ship with treasure, both gold and knowledge, and set sail for new horizons. The golden wave cut through the waves, carrying them towards new adventures, new friends, and new legends waiting to be born. And as the sun set on Skull Island, painting the sky in brilliant golds and reds, Captain Max stood at the helm, a smile on his face and the wind in his hair. He knew that the greatest treasure of all wasn't the gold in their hold or even the book of legends. It was the spirit of adventure that burned in their hearts, the bonds of friendship that held them together, and the endless possibilities that lay ahead on the vast open sea. So, me hearties, remember this tale when you're facing your own adventures. Be brave like Captain Max, clever like Ruby, strong like Finn, and keep your eyes open like Coco, for you never know when you might stumble upon a treasure map of your own, leading you to riches beyond your wildest dreams. And that, my friends, is the thrilling tale of Captain Max and the lost treasure of Skull Island, a story of courage, friendship, and the greatest adventure of all, the quest for knowledge. So hoist the sails, raise the anchor, and set course for your own grand adventures. Who knows what treasures you might find along the way? Our